Jahan, thank you for your time.
Good morning.
Getting into the first game week here, how do you feel about the way this offense has come together in the last 8 months and particularly since the start of August?
Yeah, it's been fun. Just getting together with the guys this offseason, this fall camp, and just diving into the playbook, just getting to know the ins and outs of the playbook, the ins and outs of the offense. It's been real fun. I honestly can't wait for Saturday, and it's gonna be a show.
Go to Mark Brennan next.
Hey, Jahan, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Great. Thanks for doing this. Hey, I wanted to ask you about the 40 time you ran back in the winter. It was kind of eye-popping. How did you go about improving that? Was that a specific focus, knowing that that's something, a lot of people tend to look at? And what was your previous best 40? Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was something that I was really focused on, really getting better at going into my last year here. What really pushed me, to be honest, is the guys on the team. I remember when KJ was here, he never let me live down the Minnesota moment. So literally getting faster, being faster, that was always something I was just trying to prove to everyone. I knew I had it in me. It was just about getting the technique right of running the 40, and I was able to do that thanks to Coach Galt, Coach Gant. They were really getting me right, and I was able to come out with a pretty solid time.
We'll go to New Bias. Rich, you're on deck.
Now that you mentioned that Minnesota moment, what did you learn from that, as well as how have you been able to continue to use that going forward to what was successful last season and what you hope for this season to be?
Yeah, so one thing I really learned from that moment is you got to be ready whenever your number's called. That game, I think I had maybe 2 catches towards the end of the game, and I was like kind of cold during the whole game, and I just hadn't got my feet wet in the game. But I noticed at that moment that your number could be called at any point in time in the game, and you got to be ready when that moment comes, and you got to step up to the plate. And ever since then, I've taken the approach that every single play, I'm going out there and I'm trying to score a touchdown. I'm trying to take it to the end zone. I'm trying to take it all the way. So that moment really helped me in my career.
Go to Rich Scarcella, and then we'll go to Corey Geiger.
Good morning, John. I was wondering, how would you assess the camp that you've had? And also, have there been any wide receivers that have stuck out in your mind that have had a great camp? Thank you.
Yeah. My camp, I feel like this is probably my best camp so far. Been making a lot of plays, getting to know the playbook very well. Got a good grasp on it, and I feel like I've been making plays every single day. One thing I've been focusing on this year is just being consistent every single day and making sure that my coach, my teammates know what I'm going to bring to the table every single day, and that's playing at a high level. And I feel like I was able to do that this camp. Someone I want to say who's really stuck out to me this camp was Keandre Lambert Smith. He's been balling this camp. I'm excited to see what he's going to do this year. I know he's going to have a breakout year, but he's been making a lot of plays this camp and showing a lot of maturity from last year.
Go to Corey Geiger, and then we'll go to Audrey next.
John, Sean Clifford said he reached out to Mason Rudolph about Mike Yurcich's offense. Did you reach out to, say, James Washington or anybody else and watch some of the things that maybe Oklahoma State or Texas or Ohio State did in Yurcich's offense?
I have not. I have not reached out to anyone in the previous offenses, but I feel like just watching film on the previous offense, I got a great grasp of it. I got what I need to know from it. Sean did tell me about his conversation with Mason, and he said that went well. That the offense is as exciting as can be. So just looking over previous film from previous years of teams who were in this offense, running this offense, and what it can do for guys on the perimeter, like James Washington, it's exciting.
Audrey Snyder, Joe Giuliano on deck. You with us, Audrey?
Hey, sorry, yeah, you muted me. for your time, Jahan. I wanted to go back to what you were saying about Keandre and kind of the maturity that he's shown this preseason. What do you mean by that? Like, are there examples you can point to? Is it kind of, doing all these other things that maybe we don't see? Like, how has he progressed in ways that maybe we wouldn't notice?
Yeah, I'd say the biggest way he's progressed so far is his ability now to just forget something bad that happens and just move on and make a play. Kind of last year, as a freshman, when you're young, you make a mistake, it kind of just ruins the next 4 or 5 plays for you. And I feel like he's done a great job this camp showing that he's matured, whereas though he makes a bad play or he missed an assignment, dropped the ball, you know that next 2 or 3 plays that he's going to make a big play for us. And he's shown that during this camp so far. And I know I've seen it on the practice field, so I just can't wait to see it on the game field.
Joe Giuliano.
Hey, Jahan, can you hear me?
Yep.
How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
Fine, thanks. I wanted to know, like, when you guys have camp and then you transition from, like, training camp to actually preparing for your first opponent, being that Wisconsin's probably the toughest opening game opponent you've played in your career at Penn State, what's it been like to prepare for that game and make sure you guys don't peak too early?
It's been fun. We know we have a great challenge in front of us week 1 from the jump, and we're excited to take it on. We got a lot of guys this year who are ready to prove to the world that Penn State that team last year at Penn State was not us. We're just ready to go out there. We're finally ready to hit someone else. We've been battling during camp with each other literally every single day, giving it our all. And guys have been proven that they can play at this level. And they're just ready to play against a different color on Saturday and prove it to the world.
Go to T. Frank next. Donnie Collins on deck.
Hey, Jahan. Good morning. You were a guy who got to work in at times early in his career before becoming a starter. There's a couple guys on your offense that presumably are going to be starting for their first time this weekend. How do you know when you're ready? How do you know internally? Is there a feeling? Is there something that you go through when you know that's the expectation of you and you feel ready for that moment?
Yeah. I feel like the people and this is like kind of kudos to our coaching staff. The people that we bring in here, they're ready from day one. We don't really bring in kids who aren't mature enough to play right away. We bring in top recruits every year that are ready to play whenever their number's called, whether that's first game of their freshman year, first game of their senior year. So I feel like that's just a kudos to our coaching staff and the way they handle recruiting, that we have a lot of guys who are ready to play right now. And that's just that. Like our team, we have a lot of guys who can go.
Donnie Collins, David Eckert on deck.
Hey, Jahan. Has camp, in the sense that you've been around teammates in a way that you didn't get to be last year, kind of built the camaraderie in a way that's changing the way you guys could play this year?
Yeah, definitely. I honestly will say this is the camaraderie around this team. I've never been a part of anything like it before. It's truly amazing. Literally, during camp, the 3-4 weeks we were in camp, like, of course, we're together every single day, and we have one off day, but that off day, we're literally all still with each other. Like, whether we're going to someone's houses, chilling with each other, playing video games, looking over plays, watching film. It's crazy. Like, this team is closer than any team I've ever been a part of. And I feel like that's kind of what separates us, is like the brotherhood around here. We know that every single day we're willing to fight for each other, whether it's on the practice field or the game field. And I feel like that can take us a long way.
David Eckert.
Hey, Jahan. I'm just wondering, now that you've been through, a few different offensive coordinators, is is installing an offense and getting to know a new system. Is that something that kind of felt regular to you, this offseason? Is that something that felt normal? Is just curious about your thoughts there.
Yeah, a little bit, just because this is my third offense that I'm learning. It's the same, I guess. You just learn kind of different terminology that different offensive coordinators use. Coach Ronnie, Coach Soraka, Coach Yurcich, they all might be talking about the same thing, but they're kind of all just using kind of different terminology to talk about it, whether they talk about it in their own way. So it's honestly pretty cool. I look at it as a plus. I get to learn just way more of the game of football than ever before, and it makes me more prepared for the next level. So I look at it as a plus.
Go to Daniel Gallen next.
Hey, Jahan. Good morning.
Morning.
Two guys that were freshmen last year didn't see the field in Malik Mega and Jaden Dotson. Where have you kind of seen them progressing, from freshman year to the second year, and especially those guys getting a full off season, at Penn State?
Yeah, I feel like they needed that. They needed some time to really get their bodies in shape, just progress their game and prove to the coaches that they're ready. And I feel like they've done that over this camp, that they're ready to play at a very high level. They're ready to fight for us on the field, and they're ready to make plays. I've seen Malik make tremendous strides in his game as he came over from Canada. It's kind of a different ball. He's made tremendous strides. Jaden, he always seems to make plays every single day he's out there on the field. So I honestly can't wait to see those guys battle.
Go to John Sauber next.
Hey, Jahan. I talked to Fayon Hicks in July, and he mentioned that he planned on shadowing you this Saturday. Do you relish that kind of opportunity to take on someone that sort of wants to face you one-on-one all game?
Yeah, honestly, I look at that as a challenge. That's what you want. You want someone who feels like they're gonna shut you out of your game, kind of take you out the game, and that's just a challenge to me. I honestly, I just can't wait for Saturday. We've been prepping literally all off season for this moment in this game, and I just can't wait to go out there and battle with my brothers. I can't let it just be a one-on-one battle or something like that. So I guess that's pretty cool, but I'm just ready to go out there and ball with my brothers for the first time.
Go to David Melandra next.
Hey, Jahan, I got two questions for you. One, when you first saw the schedule and you saw you're going to be playing Wisconsin the first game of the season, what was your initial reaction to that? And secondly, what can you take away from last season going into this season?
Yeah, we were excited. I was excited. It's a big test. Week one, you get to see what your team's made about from week one with an opponent who's ranked pretty high in the country. And we just can't wait to go out there and play. Literally, like I said, we've been hitting each other literally all spring, all fall camp. We just can't wait to see some red and hit red. It's going to be fun. This is going to be exciting.
Go back to Mark Brennan.
Hey, John, where have you seen Sean Clifford improve over since last season? What are some of the areas where you think maybe he stepped it up? Thanks.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest area is decision-making. Coach Yurcich, when he came in, his point of emphasis was like Sean is such a vocal leader, such a great leader on the field. And he felt like Sean was just he had just too much on his plate. He was worried about too much. And I feel like he's done a great job this offseason where he's kind of just taking some load off his shoulders and he's just playing ball now. And that's how he got here. I think he was 4 or 5-star recruit in high school, one of the best quarterbacks in the country. That's literally how he got here, just playing ball. And that's what he's doing now. And this is the best I've ever seen him. So I'm just excited to go out there and fight with him.
Audrey Snyder. Audrey?
I think she's muted.
Sorry, yeah, it kept muting
There
and
we
unmuting me. Jahan, as a punt returner, in what ways do you think you'll be different this year? Or better?
Hopefully just making a play every single time I get the ball in my hands. I look at punt return as a opportunity just to change the game. That's what we preach literally every single day, is special teams can change the game. And every time I'm back there and I feel like I can get the ball in my hands, I feel like I can change the game. So hopefully I can do that for our team this year. It's just a great opportunity that I truly look forward to.
Go to Ali Barubi.
Hey, Jahan, I'm thinking about back in January when you decided to return to Penn State for your fourth season. Can you reflect on that decision and maybe how the offseason has gone and your excitement headed into hopefully a successful regular season?
Yeah, that was a decision I made with a bunch of people in my corner, and felt like it was the right decision to come back and get closer to getting my degree and getting another chance to fight my brothers. And I feel like I love the decision I made. Just because this team, like I said, this team is like no other I've ever been on. So I know if I left that I would have missed out on just a great opportunity to go fight with the people I love, like my brothers, literally. And I just can't wait just to get out there on Saturday and go to battle with them. We've been talking about this ever since we got here. This senior year moment, first game of the year, no better test than one of the best teams in the country, and just can't wait to go out and battle with them.
We'll go to Miguel Arancibia. Mark Wogenrich are on deck.
Hi, Jahan. How would you define success for this season as a player and as a team?
For me, my motto is always being the best version of myself, and just being better than my last. So every single day I go out there, I just want to be better than I was yesterday, better than I was last year. And I know if I do that, then I'll have a pretty good season. And then for the team, we want to go 1-0 every week. You guys know that. That's the motto every single time. Every single week we come out. We want to go 1-0. And if we do that, the sky's the limit. You go 1-0 every week. You take care of business every single day on the practice field. It'll translate to the games. And we're just ready to go get our first 1-0.
We have time for a couple more. We'll go to Mark, and then we'll wrap up with new bias. We can't hear you, Mark.
Which Mark?
Got it.
There we go. Mark Wogenrich.
Okay. Thanks. John, I wanted to go back to the 40 real quick. First of all, it was 4.33, correct?
Yes, sir.
Second, how has that made you a better player? How is that 40 time translating into into training camp and then on the field?
Yeah, I always knew I was that fast, so it's kind of just always the way I've been playing. My dad, ever since I was a young kid, he told me you got tremendous speed, so use it to your ability. And I feel like this camp I've really been focusing on just playing with speed all the time, controlling my speed, and then knowing when to use it and when not to use it. And I know it's a great weapon for me, so I'm just figuring out when to use it and when not to use it, and I feel like I've been doing a great job of that. And that's pretty much what I've been focusing on.
Go to our last question, new bias, Wilborn.
Well, I guess you have to worry about there being two new biases. Hey, John, thanks for this. From there, man, last year, no fans, and you have guys like Parker who've never played in a Big Ten environment. What kind of conversations are you having with guys to get prepared for, playing in a hostile environment, particularly at Wisconsin?
Yeah, that's crazy that you asked that, because yesterday we were walking back from dinner. I was walking with Parker Washington, Winston Eubanks, and Keandre Lambert. And none of those guys have ever experienced a crowd like ours, like Penn State's, or crowd like we're going to have at Wisconsin. So it was kind of pretty cool to kind of be like the only one who's really experienced something like that. And I was telling them, like, like Coach Franklin preaches to us all the time that you're gonna resort back to your training when things go south, and that couldn't be more true than anything. When you're in those big moments, in those big games, and the crowd's going crazy, like, and your mind's racing, what you're gonna do on the field is what you've been training to do all camp, all off season, all your life, and you're gonna resort back to that training. So, our coaches have been preparing us in a tremendous way, so that when we get in those moments, we're not flustered, our mind's not racing, and we're going to be cool, calm, and collected, and we're going to resort back to our training.
All right. Thank you, Jahan, and thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Yep.